Welcome to another episode of Stand on Guard. I'm your host, David KRAYDEN. When we come back, Donald Trump ruminates on who Justin Trudeau's father may have been. So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need political change, but we also need the resolve to resist. Yes, please smash that like button. And we've been beating Trudeau censorship and we're beating YouTube suppression. Both of them can be equally demanding at times. But I think we're doing that with your help and your support. Thank you for subscribing as much as you have. We're going to hit 30,000 by the end of August. I predict that's my goal. 30,000 by the end of August. Let's keep building on that because I think this station is offering something that not every station does. I thank you so much for the kind comments you continue to make and your very kind support. Just check to make sure you haven't been unsubscribed by YouTube because they do it all the time. And I have to mention that. So Donald Trump was on the Adin Ross podcast yesterday. I have to confess, I didn't know who Adin Ross was. And it's difficult to keep track of social media these days. So many people have got broadcasts. God knows I didn't think I would ever be one of them. But here I am. But Donald Trump, of course, is asked about world leaders I have known. And he goes through a number of them and he gets to Justin Trudeau. And he speculates about who Justin Trudeau's father might have been. Fidel Castro. That's the elephant in the room, of course. No, we can't say that. The mainstream media will never even talk about that story. But clearly, Donald Trump is putting that out there. And it's almost reminiscent of how he went after Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, when they were both seeking the Republican presidential nomination in 2016. He was asked about a story in the National Enquirer linking Ted Cruz's father to Lee Harvey Oswald in the Kennedy assassination. And Trump said, yeah, what about that? But I think he was a little more serious in this instance talking about Justin Trudeau. And I'm sure the Trump family, Lara and Donald Trump Jr., and the rest of them have said, Dad, get on social media podcast. He looks a little uncomfortable at the beginning because he's not really used to doing this sort of thing. He's used to going on the networks or cable news and talking about his politics there, talking about his policies there. He's not used to going on these small podcasts that are now getting bigger audiences than anything on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News. They're getting huge viewership and reception. And so that's where Trump needs to go, especially when the mainstream media is now lauding Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, as this wonderful political phenomena that they just couldn't see up till now. Now she's suddenly leading us to the promised land. Now she's suddenly the answer, the antidote to Donald Trump. She has become the anti-Trump anthem. And it's just absolutely disgusting. And of course, Canada is picking up on this. Canadian media is saying, remember, Kamala spent some formative years in Canada, in Montreal. She's one of us. And she's going to be good for Canada. I'm so sick of these spineless, hapless, weak, feckless Canadians saying, oh, not Donald Trump again. He's going to be bad for Canada. I tell you, you people are bad for Canada who say that. And I say that to conservatives, so-called conservatives, who don't know the difference between good policy and bad policy in the United States. Well, let's have a look at Trump talking. He starts with Gavin Newsom, the Democratic governor of California. And this is classic. Make sure we got it all here. Because sometimes okay.
Gavin Newscum. You spelled it? No, you spelled his last name.
He literally ruined California. Beautiful state. California is beautiful. He ruined it.
And when you watch him, he's always saying, "Oh, we're doing so great."
Right,
We're not
right.
doing great. I mean, I have holdings in California, and I own a golf course right on the ocean, right on the Pacific Ocean in Palos Verdes. So beautiful. It's a club. It's big, many acres, hundreds of acres, and it's fantastic. But California is so precious. One of the most beautiful places in the world in terms of weather,
For sure.
in terms of everything. And they're just destroying it with crime. The crime is out of control. It's a very dangerous place. And he, I think it's a shame because I like him. I got along with him great. I helped him a lot with his fires. I kept saying, why don't you do something about the forest fires?
Yeah.
There's no reason to have that. There's no management. They have no management control over the forests. I said, you have to do things. But I got along with him great, but he has not done the job.
No.
He has not done the job. Sad.
Got a few more. Let's see what we got next.
There he is.
Yeah. He's turned very liberal, actually. They say he's the son of Fidel Castro, and could be. I mean, anything's possible in this world, You're going to learn as you get older. You've seen a lot already for your age. Per age, I would say. Per year spent, you've seen as much as anybody. But Justin Trudeau is... I get along with him very well, actually, but he seems to be going very progressive, and the people of Canada are not liking it. I mean, if they had a good conservative person, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know, but somebody that's a strong conservative would win in Canada. Canada is very unhappy about the way they've been treated as people. But I got along with them well.
What do you think Trump means when he enigmatically says maybe if they had a good conservative person, maybe they do, maybe they don't? I find that fascinating. Is he talking about Pierre Poilievre? Is he expressing some doubt, uncertainty about Pierre Poilievre's conservative credentials, small c, conservative credentials? Does he really believe Poilievre is the antidote to Justin Trudeau in this country? I would love to ask him that question if I ever had the chance. And who knows, maybe I will, because I do have connections now to the Trump campaign. And maybe, just maybe, we can ask him that question. I'd like to know if he has doubts about Pierre Poilievre, because I applaud Pierre Poilievre when he says the right thing and does the right thing. And I criticize him when he does the wrong thing. So the verdict obviously is out on Pierre Poilievre until he becomes prime minister. And he will be the next prime minister, barring martial law in this country, barring another Emergencies Act that goes on and on and on, because we have another phony pandemic, or we have another phony crisis, or the globalists take over. But we'll see. We'll see. And talking about the globalists taking over, it's a nice segue to our next subject, which, of course, is the riots in the UK, which are absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking, because I'm more surprised at what the British Prime Minister, and this guy is just a whack job. He says, I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we have seen this weekend. Being no doubt those who have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law, says Keir Starmer. I call him Der Starmer because he really is a Nazi. The police will be making arrests. Individuals will be held on remand, Charges will follow and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this action. Yeah, this guy really regrets taking part in this action. Watch this.
So,
What do you mean I can't have any alcohol?
okay, well, I'll tell you. Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network. I'm just
What?
127 of the Communications Act, okay? So you do not have to say that it may harm your defence if you don't mention one question, something which you later on in court.
I got to stop it there. I mean, here's this police woman who talks like Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady. The Cockney accent just makes it perfect. Telling this guy he was using the internet inappropriately. God damn you. God damn you. Get out of my house, is what you should say. There's some cop coming around taking my free speech away. This is just revolting.
Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested.
going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
Take you
and-
back to the police station.
Right.
Ask you, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So
It's a
we need to
Facebook
ask
crime.
you some questions about that.
Right.
Do you believe this? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it? Yes, I mean, we're laughing, but this is tragedy. This is the society George Orwell envisioned in 1984, where the police would come to your door for thought crime. This guy said something. It's a Facebook crime, is it? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Got anything in your pockets, Thomas?
I've got my keys. I got.
Yeah, get your gloves
No,
up,
that's about
lady.
it, I think. Keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested,
Disgrace
we can search them on
police.
Section 32 of the Basic Amendment Act.
So is
Right.
this idiot.
Dangerous items.
Hey,
Evidence.
I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what information? But I'm going to be
We've had
arrested for
reports that
posting on
you've made
Facebook.
some comments that are
Unbelievable.
offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's transferred.
And
they've
can
come
you-
from
can you
a
tell me what
Facebook
this
account
comment
in your
was?
name.
We'll do
Okay,
that
well,
in
we'll
an
do that when
interview.
we interview you.
All right. And so,
Okay.
what am I going to be locked up for the night, or
Hopefully
Well,
not.
hopefully not.
right? Do I need to
Unless
take
you
my
film
medications
us.
with me?
How,
Yes, we will look at taking all of those.
When do you need to take them?
Well, I've got pain medications. I've got sleeping medication. I've got anxiety medications, which I might take one of those in a bit.
Okay.
You know.
Well, if we take everything with us, then you've got everything there, haven't you?
And then
then
the
if you
Okay.
need it-
we've got a nurse up there. They'll be able to.
Yeah, we'll take everything because you might be there for another 4 weeks. You might never get out. People will not even know. Thank God this was recorded because this guy could be forgotten until he dies in jail.
Okay.
They'll be able to come and see you, and then once you've been there, they can assess whether or not medication can be issued. All right. So what we're going to do is, if you want to pop yourself up, we're just going
All right.
to
You
search.
need the glasses
Search you.
to come with you.
My glasses.
Yeah. Do you want to
Why?
take them with you?
I tell you, I saw this yesterday morning for the first time, and it just infuriated me because this is 1984. We talk about it all the time. I've been saying it, we've been writing about it for the last number of years. It came to me, especially forcefully during the Freedom Convoy and the subsequent invocation of the Emergencies Act. That's when I realized I was living in 1984 in Canada. These people in the UK, they just got rid of a conservative government. You think it can't get worse. It's gotten worse with Der Starmer, this Labour leader, this bloody Labour Party PM who is just an absolute idiot. And the synapses aren't working in this guy's head. There's no question about that. So what is going on in the UK? Well, it's all about a two-tiered justice system. It's about the fact that there are roving gangs of immigrants. I'm not going to say they're all Muslims because that's what the globalists want us to do. They want to divide the country by religion and by race. They want us to be fighting amongst each other so they can come up in the center, through the middle, and take over. They're trying to destroy the nation state. And this is what they're doing in the UK. These roving gangs of machete-wielding thugs, they're the thugs going after the British people. They're the thugs. And the British people who are sick and tired of the police looking the other way when the thugs wielding the machetes or attacking them, they're sick and tired. This is leading to not just a crisis. We love to use that word crisis. This is leading to a civil war in Britain because the consecutive governments have been unable to deal with mass immigration. And that's the problem here. It's not because a person is a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew. It's because they don't assimilate into British society anymore. They are pushed into enclaves or ghettos, more accurately, where they become radicalized. They do not become part of the national culture. They do not understand what Britain is all about. Its democratic base. It's the fact that it was a bastion of free speech for centuries. The Magna Carta, parliamentary rule of law. All of these things are not understood. All they understand is gang warfare. And I tell you, we do not need this transposed to Canada, because believe me, the globalists want this to happen here too. They want open warfare between Muslims, Christians, Jews, and other religions. The liberals love that. They love to divide Canadians on the basis of race, on the basis of gender, on the basis of ethnicity, on the basis of religion, because they think that helps them win elections when they divide and conquer. And that is the globalist scheme here. That's the globalist plan, to divide Britain and the rest of these democratic nation states into little warring factions. So the government can say, we are going to take over and we're going to hand over authority to the globalists, to a global government. You think it's crazy? That's where we're going, and it's obvious. And what we need to do is join together on the basis of common values. And that's what we've done in Canada with the Million Person March. That's going to happen again next month here in Canada. It's going to involve Muslims, Christians, Jews, Sikhs, Hindus, everybody who agrees that gender ideology is wrong, everybody who agrees that we shouldn't be having Pride season all year long, everybody agrees that the government should get out of our lives and let parents and let families raise children. But that's not what this is about in Britain. It's about immigration that has gone out of control. Too many illegals, too many people coming in at the same time. Radicalization, ghettoization of these people who are coming into the country. Creating this kind of open warfare and conflict. And who wins when you've got machete-wielding youths or of any age fighting on the streets, when the police are clearly not doing their job, and the police are allowing one sector of the country to get away with breaking the law while they arrest another sector? Of course, that's going to create tremendous resistance and resentment, and the result will be open warfare. And the only way to solve that will be to hand over the authority of the national government to a globalist elite. And that's the plan. That's clearly the plan in Great Britain. And let's watch a bit more here, because I think this is absolutely imperative we understand this. I'm not going to go on a rant about how much Muslims are the problem. The problem is mass immigration. The problem is too many people at the same time. The problem is not assimilating people into Canadian or UK or American culture, including democratic culture and everything that goes with it. Let's watch another report here.
Have been speaking to the police as well, because...
Leave that, and I apologise once again for the language there.
Shut up. Political... You see, this is the mainstream media. Oh, why are people upset? These are the people who have supported the mass immigration policies. These are the people who have insisted that you can get away with anything if you say, well, my race, my gender, my religion allows me to do that. These are the people, the mainstream media in the UK, in Canada, in the US. These are the people who have normalized the abnormal. These are the people who have said it's okay for the police to play favorites. It's okay for the police to allow. We see this every year at pride parades, which Justin Trudeau participated in last weekend, where you have men walking around nude, doing lewd acts, and the police look the other way because that's protected. We can't enforce the law there because this is a protected group. And once again, everybody is not doing that. But those who are should be arrested and punished. And people, I don't care what your religion is, you don't have a right to attack people with machetes. You don't have a right to take the law into your own hands, and you should not expect the police to do nothing. No wonder these people are swearing at the journalists, because they're sick and tired of these journalists supporting this globalist system. They're sick and tired of these journalists saying, hey, it's these ordinary Britons, these ordinary citizens of UK who are the problem. What are you upset about? What's your problem? Because there shouldn't be a problem here. And obviously, this is really getting under the skin of most ordinary Britons, because they know what's going on. They know this is coming from the EU. They know this is coming from Davos. They know this is coming from the World Economic Forum and all of the other groups that are working against the nation state. Here's another picture here. Let me tell you, people do not take to the streets unless they feel their freedom is being taken away, unless they feel they are being treated unjustly and unfairly by the system, which includes the courts, the police, everything that is supposed to make a country secure. And it suddenly turns that on its head and makes it completely unsecure. And that is the phenomena that's occurring in Britain this week. I'm hoping to have Jim Ferguson on. We've had him on before. He's a tremendous political leader in the UK, and he has a very balanced and nuanced understanding of what's going on. He understands that this is about dividing people to conquer. This is about the globalists and their aim, which is to destroy countries like Britain, to destroy countries like the United States, to destroy countries like Canada that have democratic foundations, so that people get so desperate and so fed up with the chaos and the anarchy that they say, we beg for security under any circumstances. And if that means succumbing, if that means allowing the globalists to take control, then so be it, because we're sick of the chaos. The chaos was created by the globalists and by their friends, like the Prime Minister of the UK and the Prime Minister of Canada. These are people who are serving the globalist agenda. They are dividing and conquering our countries. They want us to be at each other's throats. They want this fighting, this chaos in the streets. They want mass arrests. They want people to feel like there is no hope. And they can't control the system. They can't control the immigration. They can't control the culture. They can't control the shape and form of their countries anymore. And that's what this is all about. And we have got to look at this situation in the UK and say this could happen in Canada too. Because all it takes is a small group of people to take the law into their own hands, and for the law to ignore their indiscretions and their illegality and their crimes, and to look the other way. And that will create a backlash like you've never seen before. It can happen in Canada too. And you watch. The calls to restore order, first by the Trudeau government and then by the globalist, will come very quickly after that. I'm going to have more about this tomorrow, because this is an incredibly serious event. Do not believe the mainstream media that it's right-wing thuggery. These are not right-wing thugs on the streets. I'm sure some of them maybe there are. But most of them are just fed up with being crapped on, with being run over by successive governments, be they conservative or Labour, that have no conception of free speech and individual rights. And this is about destroying free speech in the end as well. And that's what Trudeau wants to do in Canada. I'll have more about this tomorrow. Thanks for listening today. God bless you. Have a great day.